from Malaysia that's just landed in South Africa this evening, carrying the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, among the leaders who will be attending this week's G20 Leaders Summit here in Johannesburg at the invitation of President Cyril Ramaphosa.
And of course, he has, in fact, started by visiting the African Union Commission, which is quite a historic moment. They're being received by His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the chairperson of the AU Commission. And this is the first ever visit by a Malaysian Prime Minister, marking a significant milestone, particularly when it comes to the African Union as it's concerned. And you look at Africa-Malaysia relations, for example, because this is a time that President Cyril Ramaphosa says it's not just about South Africa, but it is about the rest of the continent, and also how then the continent even asserts itself as far as the world stage is concerned.
Well, during his time at the G20, the Prime Minister of Malaysia's office says that he will in fact highlight the country's perspective as chairperson of ASEAN in two separate sessions that are related to inclusive and sustainable economic growth, leaving no one behind, building our economies, the role of trade, as well as financing for development and the debt burden. The other conversation that he's going to participate in is titled A Resilient World, the G20's contribution, disaster risk reduction, climate change, just energy transitions, food systems as well. The Prime Minister is expecting to leverage, his office says, the platform to constructively contribute to G20 discussions on emerging global economic and environmental issues, particularly those of importance to the global south, as Bongi was referencing, at the African continent. He's also, by the way, going to hold a bilateral meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa to build, he says, on the upon the outcomes of Ramaphosa's visit to Malaysia, which happened just last month in conjunction with the 47th ASEAN Summit and other related gatherings.
And of course, as he was with the AU there a little earlier on, right, they were speaking about some of the issues of mutual cooperation, particularly when you listen to the African Union's Commission's chairperson there saying that this underscores, right, an opportunity to deepen cooperation, particularly when it comes to strategic cooperation between the two, and also highlighting that this is a moment of strong bilateral ties, noting that when you look at Malaysia-Africa trade, surpassing $7.5 billion US, rising by over 20% in 2 years, and saying that, when you look at what is currently taking place, it is going to be important for some of these relations then to continue and also concretize some of the opportunities of mutual benefit there, and also speaking about the fact that it also deepens, some of the conversations, especially around trade, more trade, especially as you're looking at the African Free Continental Trade Agreement there, which is one of those, areas that is being pushed greatly here, not only by business, but also leaders, to make sure that post the G20 summit, you also see a big push as far as that is concerned on the continent.
That's like good for this. Why? The market is really applied by constant and sleep. But the idea is a meaningful outcome, and you anticipate a leader's declaration will be issued at the conclusion of the summit. The G20 is such an important gathering. It's the most important gathering for which Australia is a member. It represents 85% of the global economy, 75% of global trade, and in addition to participating in the forums of the G20, I'll have important bilateral meetings with our trading partners, including India, the European Union, as well as Germany, other partners as well. It's important for us to engage because 1 in 4 of Australia's job depends upon trade, and it is important, therefore, that I represent Australia at forums like this, advancing Australia's economic interests and supporting Australian jobs. Donald Trump says he's not attending the summit over claims that white South African farmers are being persecuted. Does Australia hold these concerns? We speak up for Australia's autonomy. It's in Australia to participate as a medium power in events such as the G20, and I'm very pleased to be participating here in South Africa. And indeed, tomorrow I'll be going to the important Freedom Pass. That is important because I'll have the great honour of unveiling 3 new names on the honour wall, which is there, honouring people who fought against the apartheid regime and fought for democracy and freedom for all South Africans. And tomorrow, the names of Malcolm Fraser, Bob Hawke, and Bruce A will be added to that wall, and that will be a great honour for Australia. Thanks very much.
As a new nation, united and free from apartheid, a great wave of global solidarity of the peoples of the world, led by the United Nations, championed our freedom. Today, South Africa is a flourishing democracy, a multicultural and diverse nation. We are Africa's most industrialized economy, a country of breathtaking beauty. Our greatest strength is our people. We remain rooted in our African identity, but fully integrated into the global community of nations. We are a country that fights for peace and justice. We are honored to lead the Group of 20 from 1 December 2024. South Africa is committed to multilateralism with the United Nations at its center. South Africa's vision is a world that is people-centered, development-orientated, and inclusive. A community of nations that leaves no one behind. This dictum is rooted in the African philosophy of Ubuntu. We have thus chosen the theme, Solidarity, Equality, Sustainability for our G20 presidency. Guided by our theme, we will use our G20 presidency to refocus global attention on the social, economic, and environmental dimensions of development in the economies of Africa and the global South. This includes a focus on critical issues such as inequality, employment, food security, and artificial intelligence. The symbol of our G20 presidency is the magnificent King Protea, our national flower, which has a rare ability to regenerate. It is a symbol of renewal, resilience, and hope. It symbolizes South Africa's intention to deliver a positive and solution-driven G20 presidency. By reigniting our common humanity, South Africa will use its G20 presidency to harness the power of global collective energy to confront our common challenges. And as we have done over the past 30 years, we will serve to bridge the gap between the global North and the global South, being uniquely positioned at a point of intersection between both worlds. We are ready. Are you? We welcome you to Africa. We welcome you to South Africa. G20 South Africa 2025. Solidarity, equality, sustainability.